morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining me today here on March 6th. It's Monday, 8:30 a.m. here in New York, which is who knows what time it is where you are, but you're here, I'm here. Hey, that's awesome. Thank you for joining me today. Let's see who's in the chat. Hello, Stacy, Peter, hello, just someone. Elena, hi. Early Bird, Mie, welcome. Hello, Nauko, thank you. Kinga Buck, hello from Poland. Hello, Poland. Hello from New York. Marcella, thank you for joining today. Excellent. All of the usual suspects are here. I hope you all had a nice weekend. First weekend of March. It's almost feeling like spring, except for the snowstorm that we had last week, but that quickly melted. Hello, Claire. Claire is here from Paris. Fab the Fabulous checking in from Italia. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate that. What did I want to tell you today? Oh, first of all, I'm still trying to work on the schedule because we changed the clocks to summertime this coming weekend. And my favorite time of the year. I think what I've decided to do is to go back to the later time, which is 1 hour later than now, which is what we did last year. But I'm still working on the day. But I will finalize that, hopefully, not today because too much to do. But hopefully I will finalize, not hopefully, I will. I will finalize that over the next couple of days, and I'll let you know either here on the YouTube channel or on social media when we're going to meet and the day and the time. And I hope you can join us. I know that when I changed the time last October, some people, like our friend Lali in France, couldn't make it because of the time change, so hopefully we'll figure that out. Tammy, hi, welcome. Hope you're feeling better. I flew back home with my motorbike to be here on time. Excellent. Hey, you better be careful. 130 kilometers an hour. Ay, ay, ay. I remember myself only New Year's Eve. Oh, really? So so I'll let you know. Anyway, I'll let you know what the schedule is going to be, and hopefully you can join me for that. I spent a good amount of time over the weekend studying because last week I hardly had a chance to deal with it, but I did that over the weekend. And I felt very productive. How about you? You talking to me? Yeah. You talking to me? Nobody else here. Who are you talking to? So I felt very productive. How about you? Did you have you learned anything over the weekend? Did you study English? Did you watch any TV shows in English? Are you watching a series? Let us know what series. I'm interested to know. Here's what I want to know. What TV series are you using to study English nowadays? Or what book are you reading to study English nowadays? And anything else that you've done to improve your English since we last met. Let me know. I prepared and picked up the following. Thanks to an interesting interview. I have a bone to pick with somebody. Lighten up, out of the blue, goof off. Let's not goof off here. Thank you, Peter. See that? Peter was prepared today. When can we buy your new book, Michael? Tammy asked. Oh, when it's finished. I'm working on it. I'll let you know. I heard podcasts. Claire, what do you like? What podcast? That's right. If you like to listen to podcasts, what podcasts do you like to listen to? I'd be interested to know that. Perhaps, and I don't know, but perhaps you know this one. It's the Happy English Podcast. I highly recommend it. Yours. Thank you, Claire. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. There's a new podcast coming out today, by the way. Used to. Use. Be used to. Be used to. That's what we're going to talk about today on the podcast. Yes, Tammy, I'll keep you all posted. I've learned the example, this structure of the sentence. I think this winter isn't as cold as I thought it was going to be. That's a great phrase. Something isn't or is as adjective as. This coffee isn't as hot as I thought it would be, as I spill it all over my desk. Ay, 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 ay. That's a good phrase. Kinga, thank you. I appreciate that. I hope you caught last week was my interview with Coach Shane. Oh my God, what a lot of fun that was talking to him. What a nice guy. I have in my queue to watch Friends and now Seinfeld. Friends and Seinfeld. Excellent. That's good. In one's wheelhouse. It's right up one's... that's not in my wheelhouse. I think Mie in somebody's wheelhouse for me is more common than that's right up my wheelhouse. If there's something that you like, for example, table tennis is right up your alley. It's right up your alley. Something that is up your alley or right up your alley is something that's really, really perfect for you. Right now, I found a YouTube channel in Japanese that teaches about Japanese history. That's right up my alley. And that idiom comes from bowling. That's right, the sport of bowling, because when you roll the ball all the way to the pins, the path that the ball goes is called the alley. And if the ball is right up the alley, in other words, perfectly up the alley, you're going to get a strike. So that's perfect, right? So it's right up my alley means it's perfect for me. It's exactly perfect for me. So we would use that one. Right up one's alley. Oh, that's okay. Now you got it. Marcella, what podcast were you listening to? Some people are not as nice as they appear to be. Good example, Tammy. Thank you. All what you do, Michael, is very good. Kinga, thank you. I appreciate that. It kind of suits up your alley. It kind of suits up. I don't know if I've heard that phrase. Maybe that's a British phrase. We say in American English, we say it's right up my alley, or it's just up my alley. It's up my alley, or up your alley. All right, that's good. That's good. If you, suits means your alley, up your alley. It suits you. It suits you. Yeah. It suits you means it's a good match for you. Like, oh, nice shirt, Michael. It suits you. But it's right up my alley means I really like that thing. I'm really into it. So it's a similar phrase. It's a similar phrase. I don't know if my microphone is picking it up. My dog is snoring very loudly. It's a perfect match. That's right. I hope this lesson is a perfect match for you, because today we're going to be talking about this topic, phrasal verbs with come. Michael, how come you teach phrasal verbs all the time? So many of your lessons are about phrasal verbs. That's right. Asit, welcome. That's right, because phrasal verbs are a very important part of the English language, very natural part of the English language, and they're good to practice because they're easy to forget. Sometimes they're confusing. Sometimes one phrasal verb has more than one meaning. Sometimes this phrasal verb and that phrasal verb have similar meanings. So there you go. That's why we do that. Kinga, thank you. You guys are so sweet. Mario, welcome. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. Let's get the ball rolling, as they say. Let's get the ball rolling. All right. By the way, here's a brief commercial announcement. If you like my lessons here on YouTube, you'll probably like my self-study English courses as well. Many of you who are here in the chat belong to some of those courses. Some of you are also in my English learners community, which that's awesome too. And some of you are actually in my one-to-one private lessons. Yes, there's all different ways that you can study with me more. And if you're interested in that, please visit myhappyenglish.com. That's the website right here. You can send me a message through the contact area, and I'd be happy to talk to you about how I can help you improve your English. Let me know what you're interested in studying, and I can guide you into which of those options is the best one for you. So feel free to contact me there. Also, you can go to myhappyenglish.com/YouTube. Sorry, there's no button. You have to type that. Secret page. And that's where you can download this document and all of the documents that we've used to study English since December 2021. That's right. Probably 60 weeks, almost 60 weeks worth of English lessons. So you can get that there. That's my brief commercial announcement. Thank you. Let's check it out. Phrasal verbs with come. 2 points that I want to tell you first. The first point is, as I'm sure you know, come is an irregular verb. The parts are come, came, and come. I have never come here before. Okay, that's that. The other thing is that all of the phrasal verbs we're going to talk about today are not separable. That's right. That's right. I checked that, and all of these are not separable. Okay, so that's a good point to know. Podcast in English. I like the conversations of an English teacher and his wife. Oh, who's that? I'd like to know who that is. Roberto, welcome. Thanks for joining today. Here we go. Some of these you might know, some might be new. Regardless of that, it's a good place to practice. So if you'd like to leave your example sentence using this phrasal verb or any of the phrasal verbs we'll talk about today, that would be really, really awesome. The first one is come about. Come about means to happen or occur. And the structure, the grammar is something comes about. A situation came about, a tradition came about, a rule comes about, a law. Okay? That's how we use it. And here are the examples. This crazy weather came about because of climate change. The new vacation policy in the office came about when the new manager started. So something comes about. Here's a question. When did the tradition of giving chocolate on Valentine's Day come about? Maybe you have a tradition in your country, and my question to you would be, well, what is that tradition? And when did it come about, or how did it come about? How did that come about? How did that start happening? That's what that means. Who has an example that they would like to share using this? I don't know when the tradition of giving chocolate on Valentine's Day came about. Maybe you know that. It probably came about because a chocolate company wanted to make money or a flour company wanted to make money. Something like that. Who has an example they'd like to share? Live lessons with me here on YouTube came about because I wanted to share things with you live so you could ask questions and give your good example sentences. Remember, my friends, language has input and output. Input is reading and listening. Output is speaking and writing. And you have to do those things. Okay? If you don't have any output, it's going to be really hard to remember the vocabulary. All right. I'm not sure it came about before I was born. Yeah, I don't know when. When did the tradition of giving chocolate to children come about during Easter holiday? That's a good question, too. When did the tradition of putting a pine tree in your living room with lights on it come about for Christmas? When did the culture of podcasts come about? I don't know exactly when. I started my podcast in 2014. And that's, 9 years ago. And I know podcasts have been out a little bit before that. I'm not sure when. Probably within the last 15 years or so. Results always come about through a process. Yes. That sounds like a graduate thesis at the university. You can say that. That's come about. We have a lot of these to cover today, so I'll just keep moving. You can feel free to drop your example sentences in the chat as you like. When did the culture of online learning come about? Now we can see plenty of English teachers online. Online learning started when the internet became available to the public. I did a degree online in 2001, or maybe it was 2002, something like that. Where's my diploma? In the year 2004. So I graduated in 2004, which means I started in 2001 because it took 3 years. So, that's when I first started doing anything online that had to do with education. So, but yeah, as soon as the internet came out. All right, let's move ahead, shall we? Come across. Come across means to find something by chance. All right, here's the structure. Someone comes across something. That's the pattern. I came across my old high school jacket when I was cleaning the attic. Right? I wasn't looking for it, but then I said, oh, look. Over the weekend, I came across a box of 45 RPM records. There you go. Like this one. Remember these? This is music before the iPod. Jane came across an interesting book at a flea market. How about you? Have you come across any old photos, or have you come across anything recently? Well before the pandemic. Oh yeah. Come across equals stumble upon equals bump into. Mario, we generally use bump into to talk about people, whereas we use come across to talk about things. So if you're walking in the town and you suddenly see a friend, you can say, I bumped into my friend Michael today. But you wouldn't say I came across Michael today. It's just for things. But thank you for sharing those. I don't know why it came about the tradition of mistletoe on Christmas days. You have that in your country too, huh? I came across pictures of my youth when I was cleaning up my room. That happens sometimes. I came across a really cool photo of my dad over the weekend when he was like I think at his high school prom. It was a great photo. I came across a very helpful doctor recently. So that's the thing here is, as I mentioned to Mario, Tammy, you come across something, not someone. And if it's people, we usually say I bumped into or I ran into somebody. But that's when you bump into or run into somebody, it's a person that you know. Okay? It's a person that you know. So if you found a new doctor, I would probably say I found a new doctor. I don't think I would use one of the phrasal verbs in that case. Mario, thank you. Hello, Children's World, welcome. Doing laundry, you don't need Doing laundry because it's not countable. I came across 50 euros in my son's pocket. Wow, lucky you. I came across your videos online a few years ago. Thank you. Every time I come across this channel, I learn something new. I'm glad to hear that. Come across the street to eat a hot dog. That's the exact meaning of come across. Remember, these are idioms. Phrasal verbs are used as idioms. I met a very nice doctor in the hospital recently. Yes. Encounter, we wouldn't use encounter in that case. I came across a 10 nigui that I had bought for my friend Bianca many years ago. I gave it to her this morning. Awesome. I recently came across an interesting channel on YouTube regarding the use of TV series for teaching English. Awesome. He came across as a nice guy. Yep, that's another meaning, Hadi. Welcome, of come across. I came across my old diary. Good example. I found that by chance. There are so many old things in my barn to come across all the time, so I'm considering to set it on fire. Set something on fire. It's on fire. I came across some pictures about my students' lives when I organized my laptop. Is it correct? Yes. Under undesirable circumstances, you can also run smack into somebody. That's right. That's right. That's a physical collision. I came across some old commercials on YouTube channel recently. Those are always fun to watch. All right, good. That's good. Those are all good examples. Excellent. Come across. Keep in mind that this live video, which is, if you're watching it now, March 6th, 2023, it's live, will become a video on my YouTube channel, and the chat will remain too. So you can see these great examples as you play back the video. Yesterday when I was rummaging through, I like that, rummaging through my drawer when I came across an old photo of mine. Excellent. All right, nice examples. Come along, my friend. Come along is one of those phrasal verbs that has a number of meanings. For this lesson, come along means to make progress or to advance or to improve. Something comes along. Something is coming along. We often use it in a progressive sentence. I came across new words while I was reading a book. That's a great way to study, Kinga. Thank you. All right, here are some examples with come along. Come along means to make progress. Our project is coming along nicely. We should be able to finish it on time. My new book is coming along very slowly. Too many things to do. Tommy bought an old boat and the restoration is coming along great. Lucky Tommy. Hey, here's a question. How is your language learning coming along? Are you feeling more confident? How is your English coming along these days? How is your new project coming along? Good question. Is your writing coming along well? How is it coming along for you? All good questions. My Japanese language skills are coming along because I'm chipping away at it, little by little. Still a long way to go. It is a long way to go. It's an endless process. Language learning is a lifetime commitment. You just keep going and keep going and keep going. That's right. It's a long way to go. Yep. My textbook tells me that I've learned 400, just from that textbook series, I've learned 400 Japanese characters. And so, it's a slow process. I'm happy I can feel coming along my English. How about this, Marcella? I'm happy I can feel my English is coming along. Something is coming along, or something comes along. Okay, look at the example sentences. Always look at the models. Something, our project, is coming along. The restoration, something, is coming along. My English is coming along. Thanks, Tammy. Yeah, making progress. Slowly, but surely. Remember, slow and steady wins the race. That's what they say. All right. Come apart. Come apart. Come apart. Something that comes apart. Come apart means to break into pieces. To fall apart is another way to say that. Something that's old and fragile will easily come apart. For example, the toy car came apart when I dropped it on the ground. That's right. I study English and play table tennis at the same time. They are coming along. Excellent. Do you speak English while you're playing table tennis? Because then that would be really doing two things at the same time. Mike's Japanese is a work in progress, that's for sure. How can we use, hello Ricardo, how can we use come along as a reference to come with me? So phrasal verbs have a number of different meanings. Okay? Today's lesson, come along, means to make progress. But when you go together with someone, you can also use come along. Oh, you're going to the cafe? Can I come along with you? Or, I'm going to the cafe. Why don't you come along with me? So go together. That's how that works. Relationships have come apart during the pandemic. Wow. Is it similar to tear apart? Hang on. My English is coming along. Thank you, Michael. I'm coming apart at the seams. It means I'm exhausted mentally. Yes. Many people stopped seeing their friends ever since this pandemic. Ricardo, you're welcome. Would you like to come along? Our world is coming apart as always. A rigid thing. All right. Here are some examples there. Another example. The old book was so fragile. Fragile means it's easily damaged or easily broken. The old book was so fragile that it started to come apart as I turned the pages. Has anything you have come apart recently? Can someone's heart come apart? Yes. When she left me, I came apart, or as what did Naoko say? Coming apart at the seams. Yeah. When you have an emotional breakdown, you can say she came apart. I came apart. I came apart when she left me. That's possible. Come apart. I'm trying to think if I have anything that came apart recently. No old books. I'm trying to think of an example. Many years ago, I found a poster. My dad was a big fan of big band jazz. And I found a poster it was advertising the Benny Goodman Orchestra, which was a popular group at the time, a 1952 concert in Paris. And I found that poster, and it was, when I unrolled it, it came apart. And I tried to put it back together again. So it's very cool, though. Let's see. Fastidious things tend to come apart easily. In this sense, come apart would mean to come unglued. You mean in an emotional sense? Yes. Fragile means nothing when you write this on your parcel. That's right, because the post office doesn't usually care. Your dictionary is coming apart. I can tell you have used it for a long time. Mie, you must be referring to a paper dictionary. I haven't seen my paper Japanese dictionaries in a long time. I remember that dictionary. All right, let's move ahead, shall we? Come by. Come by. Come by means to visit someone. I don't know what's wrong with my eyes today. It's very dry in this house. Come by means to visit someone. And usually we use that when we invite somebody. Okay? So when you want to invite somebody or talk to somebody about visiting you, you can say like this: hey, if you have some free time this weekend, can I come by? I invited myself. I have nothing to do today, so please come by if you have time. Okay? Did you invite? The question should be, did you invite anyone to come by your house last week? Because that's usually how we have it. We don't say, I could say, yeah, my sister came by. She visited me. But remember, come here, go there, right? That's an important point. So somebody comes by, they visit you. That's how we use that. Nobody came by my house last week. Good example. Sometimes your example sentence is a negative sentence. I have nothing that has fallen apart. That's a perfect example sentence, right? Cucumber are not easy to come by these days. Really? I came by, so I dropped by. I didn't come by, so I dropped by. That works better. Years ago, a friend came by. My Oxford Dictionary has come apart. Wow. Keep in mind, right? Sorry to interrupt the lesson for this important learning point. I always, if you've noticed, either here on YouTube or on social media or in other English lessons we do, I always ask you, how about you? How about you? How about you? I always ask you to come up with an example sentence. And sometimes you don't have an example. Perfect. So look at now go sentence. Nobody came by my house last week. That's a perfect example sentence. Okay? Whenever you practice English or any language and you want to remember the vocabulary, what do you need to do? That's right. You need to write it in a sentence that's true for you or true in your world, and then memorize your sentences. That's the best way to do it. And sometimes you don't have an example. I have nothing that fell apart. That's a good example. Nobody came by recently. That's a good example. Okay? A negative sentence is a good example because it's true for you. And that's how you can remember the vocabulary. That's right. Can't come by, be come by. No, be come by cannot be used in the passive. And try to avoid using the passive when you talk about people. My sister was come by. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. My sister came by this weekend. Remember, just a quick note, sidetrack about the passive voice. We tend to use the passive voice when we talk about a process. These pens are sold in the stationery store. Okay? But, for example, Michael made the coffee this morning, and not the coffee was made by Michael. The coffee was made by Michael. Dinner was cooked by my wife. This cake was baked by my mother. So, those are correct sentences, but we never use them in English. I would never say, dinner was made by my mother. My mother made dinner. Okay? So that's how that works. So just be careful about the passive. We hardly, maybe that's a better word, we hardly use the passive to talk about people. You know, that report was written by my boss. It's much more natural to say, my boss wrote that report. Okay? That's a point about the passive. All right. My friend didn't come by last Saturday, although we have had a deal. Oh no, sorry to hear that. I'll throw a party on Sunday. Will you come by? Yes, I will come by in my private jet. Trump came by my house. Trump came by my house. VGGTGY. That's a hard name to pronounce. Why don't you come by this evening? I'll be there. Or dinner was made. We never say dinner was made by my mother. Dinner was made by my mother is a passive sentence, and it's never used in conversation. Tammy, the passive voice is used, if you want to talk about people, you should always use an active voice, even in writing. We generally, in English, use the passive voice to talk about a process or a fact. The Empire State Building was built in 1929. That's a fact. The Brooklyn Bridge was built in the 1800s. That's a fact. But we hardly ever use the passive voice to talk about people. All right, that's going to be the topic of a next lesson because that's an important point. I want to make sure you guys get that. Yeah. Please don't say things like dinner was cooked by my wife. It's just not natural to use that. What else is going on here? Or dinner was made. No, we don't say that. You can come by my office to drink coffee. Excellent. I would appreciate that. Come over has a different nuance. Why don't you come over? Come over is more familiar. That's all. Come over to, I'm gonna, because we use go over and come over when the person we're talking about is familiar to the listener and the speaker. I'll say that again. Come over. I don't think I put that in today's lesson. Come over is more familiar, and we use that in familiar situations. So, hey, I'm having a party. Can you come over? Why don't you come over? It's more familiar, but it's the same meaning. It means visit. All right, that's come by. Come by has another meaning. Da, 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 da. Come by means to obtain something, or to acquire something, or to receive something. And usually we use this to talk about goods or information. Okay? When you come by something, it's usually because somebody gave that to you, or you achieved that thing. Okay? We don't use come by with this meaning when you make a purchase. So if you go to the store and buy something, like for example, I bought this pen yesterday. I can't say I came by this pen yesterday. It doesn't make any sense. Okay? Look at the example here. I was able to come by some tickets to the concert through a friend. Okay? So, because of my friend's effort, my friend works at a theater, I was able to come by some tickets to the concert. Okay? So I received them because my friend set that up for me. Okay? So it happened. It's not easy to come by a job in this economy, but I don't give up hope. I'm looking for a new job, but it's not easy to come by a new job. Okay, so acquire, okay, or receive. Goods or information. Okay, have you come by anything recently? I have come by a nice iPad. Maybe that means somebody gave it to you. Can you come by some brochures the next time you visit the dealership? That doesn't work. Because what you're trying to say there is, can you pick up some brochures? Or can you get some brochures? Okay? So, come by has the nuance that someone else is going to help you acquire that thing. It doesn't mean you're going to go to the store and, I'm going to go to the store and come by a cup of coffee. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't mean to pick up something or to buy something. I come by 2 big black dogs. Where did you come by those dogs? Generally, it's goods or information. A happy tramp managed to come by a pair of Lucy's for the weekend. Peter, that sounds like a sentence from a 1930s movie. A happy tramp managed to come by a pair of Lucy's for the weekend. What is a Lucy? I don't know Lucy. What's a Lucy? I came by a new job, right. A cigarette. Gotcha. A pair of Lucy's. I think that's an old phrase. It wasn't from 1930. Okay. A Lucy. A Lucy. 1940s, according to my dictionary. 1940s. A Lucy. My friend Rayleigh comes by tickets to the cinema from an employee. Right. Right. A doobie, a Lucy. But Peter, a doobie is a marijuana cigarette. A Lucy is just a cigarette that is sold individually. I don't know if they sell, I don't smoke, so I have no idea about the smoking culture now. So I could be wrong, but it's not my understanding that they sell individual cigarettes these days. I don't know. Maybe there is somewhere. I don't know. I don't smoke, so I can't comment on that. These days, the price of laptops is high, so I was able to come by one through my friend because he didn't use it. Right, that's a good example. So because of another person's effort, or because of another person's doing something, you can come by that thing. I used to buy Lucy's for my father. Okay. So again, I'm sorry. I'm not a smoker. I smoked when I was in my late teens and early 20s. I don't smoke now. I have no idea of the vocabulary about that. So don't hold me to it. I would like to come by an old Shakin' Stevens plate. Shakin' Stevens plate. I'm not sure what that is. What do you like to come by? Sometimes I can come by information about history, which is what I like to find. All right, that's come by. How we doing? Let's see if we can get through more of these. Come from. Here's one that somebody might know. Thank you, VGGTGY. Come by. Come from means to originate. Something or someone comes from a place. These wine glasses came from Italy. Friends are hard to come by nowadays. Good example. Nice. Come by. A good cup of coffee is hard to come by these days. That's another good example. Many spices. So come from means to originate. Many spices come from India. Okay? Come from. Children's world. I come from France. Where do you come from? Where did you come from? Think about your favorite shirt or jacket. Where did it come from? My favorite jacket came from Century 21, which is a store that does not exist anymore. After the revolution, few people remember where they come from, because everyone became cosmopolitans. I come from this big world. What about you? I come from New York. Your students come from different countries of the world. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. That's awesome. That's awesome. We've got the entire globe represented, which is very nice. Come from. Some people believe they come from apes, and some people still act like apes. I think that's true. Funny, but true. Come from. Look around you. Look around your house. Where did it come from? Where do these things come from? I have this old ashtray. I don't know if you can see that there. It's from Caesar's Palace. It's an old casino in Las Vegas. I don't smoke, but I have this ashtray. I found it at a secondhand shop. Let's see. My silver watch comes from Japan. My favorite sunglasses came from Italy. Some people believe they came from apes, but someone argues this notion. That's true. The best pizza in my town comes from Italian chefs. Oh, did I find a really good pizza shop in New York City? The chef comes from Italy. It's a wood-fired oven. The best pizza I ever had. My watch comes from Greece. The idea of making jeans came from the USA. My ashtray is an awful skull made of china. Wow. Do you have any furniture coming from Europe? All my electronic gizmos used to come from Japan. Yeah, I remember those days. The first color TV my parents bought what? The first color television my parents bought was a Hitachi, which was a Japanese brand, and nowadays Hitachi doesn't make consumer electronics. I don't believe they do. They might make washing machines, but they don't make stereos or TVs anymore. All right, come out. Come out. Come out means to be published or to be available to the public. Let's see how this one goes. Even bikes from Japan, yeah. Hitachi was a very popular brand here. Now it's interesting. I go into an elevator and I see Hitachi. Hitachi makes some of the subway cars in New York City, but they don't make TVs. All right, let's move ahead in the interest of time because time is running out. Oh my God. Come out means to be published or to become available to the public. Okay? The structure is something comes out. The new novel by my favorite author is coming out next month. The actor's scandal eventually came out and has caused a lot of controversy. Has any new book, music, or TV program that you like come out recently? Is your new book coming out this summer? I'm hoping to have it come out by the end of this month. I just need to drink more coffee to stay awake. How about you? Has any musicians that you like? Has any new albums come out? Any books come out that you like? Any TV shows came out? Let me think about TV shows. A new comedy special by Chris Rock came out this weekend. I haven't seen it yet. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I also saw a new comedy special by not Ricky Gervais. Oh, the other guy. What's his name? Jim Jeffries. That came out recently. Trump new film will come out next election. Okay. Is your new book? We go to the movies tonight. Are you coming out? Coming out also? Yes. Come out has another meaning, Roberto. Come out in that case means to go out of your house. I can't wait when your new book is going to come out. Are you going to come out with a new book? Yes. 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 It's a grammar book. It's a grammar book that you've never seen the likes of before. It's the grammar book that I wish I had studying Japanese. That's right. It's all about grammar and the king. Grammar and the king. If you study with me a long time, you know what the king or who the king is. Unfortunately, almost everything interesting for me came out many years ago. Yeah, many things that I'm interested in came out many years ago too, but that's not an unfortunate thing. That's a good thing that I see those or can have access to those. Why don't you come out with a kids channel? Good idea. Are you? I knew what you meant. All right. One more, and then we got to go. Come up. Come up. When something comes up, it means it happens unexpectedly, and we tend to use this to talk about negative situations or problems. Something came up this afternoon and I couldn't attend the meeting. Something came up. Jack isn't in the office yet. Something must have come up. Come up. Come up. I have a suggestion. Come around. Come around. I didn't put that in this lesson, but that's a good one. What time can you come around? Come around also means to visit. I'll be in the office all day. I hope you can come around. How about you? Has anything come up recently? Anything come up recently? Or to agree? Yeah. Finally, my boss came around to my idea of giving us Friday afternoon off. Nobody could believe, but a few blizzards came up in June. Wow, a horrible accident came up on my way to my house. Oh my God. Come up. Come up. Something came up. Play ball. Let's play ball. All right, so that, my friends, is all the time that we have to study today. Keep in mind that if you'd like to download this document, all you need to do is go to myhappyenglish.com/YouTube, and you can download this document later on today. Okay, later on today. And if you go to myhappyenglish.com, while you're there, check out my other English lessons. You might find those helpful. As I said, I'm still trying to figure out when we can meet for this class, because we're going to change the clocks to summertime this coming weekend on the 12th of March. So I have to work that out. I will let you know here on the YouTube channel, also on social media. All right. That, my friends, is all the time we have to study today. My goodness, time flies when you're having fun. All right, that's it. I will let you know about the time for next week. So stay tuned for that. Keep in mind, learning another language is not always easy, but it's not impossible. And you know, I am here to help you on your journey. Thank you for learning English with me on YouTube today.